All right, what's going on, everybody? Well, I did it again. I won another tournament, and I want to document my process here. If anybody finds this useful, great. It's on DraftKings. This was for the conference championship games for the 2022-2023 NFL season. So we, of course, had the 49ers at the Eagles, and then in the night game, we had the Bengals taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Only two games to pick from. These small slate games or tournaments, small game slates, I should say, are so tough because everybody's on every player, and you got to get a little wacky. You got to do things that nobody else is rolling with, and hope they pay off because a lot of these players are going to be like 70% owned, and you're not really getting any differentiation with the field if you're just playing the obvious plays. So you got to mix it up. But I just want to go over my lineup. This won $2,500, one more than that in total, but this was obviously my best lineup and the second biggest win I've ever had on here. So really, really satisfying. I just want to go over the lineup construction, kind of my thought process on this. I had plenty of lineups that were duds, so this wasn't obviously my only lineup or anything like that, but it was the one that I pretty much nailed. So let's get in it. Pat Mahomes being 12% owned in this was, I think, ridiculous. Obviously, Jalen Hurts with his rushing upside was, the quarterback that everybody was going to be playing. And then I think everybody really liked Burrow. I think the Chiefs were kind of being underestimated at home because of Mahomes was a little banged up, but he went out there and did his thing. 12% ownership is crazy for him. I feel like Brock Purdy was 12% owned, so why Mahomes was in that range, I have no idea. But that's how you win these tournaments. You got to play the dudes that other people aren't playing, and they when they go off, you separate yourself from everybody else. Pacheco, his ownership kind of surprised me. I didn't think he'd be that highly owned. I like McKinnon better this week, but I went with Pacheco in this lineup, and I'm glad I did. He had 5 receptions. See, Pacheco was getting all the sort of checkdowns that I thought McKinnon would be getting, which is kind of crazy. But Pacheco did enough. Miles Sanders. So my kind of overall thought process in this lineup was basically the scenario where the Eagles just went out there and kicked the crap out of the 49ers, which is what happened. But there wasn't really anybody worth playing in this game except for Sanders because Sanders takes all the touchdowns and then, Jalen Hurts and his receivers just don't get there because all the touchdowns go through Miles Sanders in the running game. And then you correlate that with the Eagles defense, who I thought was obviously the play of the week on defense. So did everybody else. The Eagles defense was 40% drafted, which sounds about right. Normally I punt on defense, but this is a week where you just have to get everything right, and they were clearly the play of the week. Not that I foresaw Brock Purdy getting injured like that, but Brock Purdy's a rookie. They're on the road. They're playing a hell of a defense, hell of a defensive line. At some point, the magic runs out, and it obviously in a huge way ran out for the 49ers in that game last night. So that was all I wanted from that game. I just wanted the main running back for the Eagles correlated with the defense. Because, if the Eagles are up big and winning, you're going to have running backs going off. They're going to take all the touchdowns from the passing game. There's no point in playing anybody else from that game. So from there, you're looking to stack the Chiefs-Bengals game as much as possible and just hit the right players and hope it shoots out. Not that it didn't necessarily shoot out, but it was a more competitive game than that other one. So on the Bengals side, obviously you're going to want to play Higgins and Chase. Those are, and then Boyd got hurt. There was just a ton of luck involved in this. Tyler Boyd getting hurt meant, pretty much every pass was going to be funneled to either Higgins or Chase. Chase at 70% ownership is crazy. He finally had a bad game. He's such a baller. He might be the best receiver in the league, and he grossly underperformed, whereas Higgins didn't. Higgins got the touchdowns. Higgins almost had 2 touchdowns. Very, very heavily targeted, but was not meant to be. Be curious to see how many targets he ended up with. Anyway, Smith-Schuster, man, has been such a disappointment this year. I keep waiting for him to have a better game. He got hurt. So many people got hurt. But Smith-Schuster he hasn't been what I think a lot of people, myself included, thought he would be going into this season. So I was lucky to survive, with him getting hurt and having one catch. But where that kind of paid off for me was with Valdez-Scantling at 6% ownership, basically breaking the slate. I mean, there's no other way to put it. If you didn't have Valdez-Scantling going, you probably didn't win any money. So I'm grateful I had him and, stacked him with Mahomes and all that good stuff. So shout out Valdez-Scantling for being the catalyst for all of this at 6% ownership. Travis Kelce, I mean, I'm honestly shocked. He was only 34% owned. Like, I think he should have been up here with Chase at like well over 50%. Blows my mind. I think the public just totally freaked out and overreacted to Mahomes' injury. Thought the Bengals were going to go in there and roll them or something. But you have to play Kelce. You just have to. So played him. And then Chase. I mean, Chase did enough. Everybody was on him. He just didn't have a touchdown. He had a couple big plays, but certainly by his standards, not a great game. And then the Eagles' defense, which you also had to have. So, yeah, I got lucky. It really wasn't even that close. So I put up 150 points. The next closest was 147, which in a tournament like this, I mean, where every point and half a point means so much, that was actually some pretty good separation there. And really thankful that Smith-Schuster didn't ruin my lineup here. So there it is. There's lineup construction. I just went with Eagles, kicking ass on the ground and on defense, and then kind of a game stack of the Cincy Kansas City game, and it worked out. Boom.